With a new draft programme for government focusing on collaborative working, all of our public sector organisations need to identify areas where they can come together and work together to improve public services and the outcomes for the community, particularly those who are vulnerable. Collaborative working is a central theme in the Policing Plan 2017-18, and each PCSP will have a key part to play in developing and supporting projects to build confidence in policing, reduce incidents of antisocial behaviour, tackle drugs and alcohol issues, and support those who are more vulnerable in our community. All of this work will deliver a difference to people's lives and make our communities safer. PCSPs are ideally set up to deliver outcomes for communities through collaborative working. With representation from the local councillors, local people, and all of the key statutory agencies, PCSPs are positioned to tackle issues. Derry and Strabane PCSP has recently taken forward the Concern Hub initiative, which demonstrates how collaborative working is helping solve issues for some of the most vulnerable individuals in the council area. Facilitated by the PCSP, the Concern Hub is a partnership between statutory agencies in the area working together, sharing information and problem solving to help people who've been identified as vulnerable or of concern. The Concern Hub, facilitated by the PCSP, includes the following partners: Police Service of Northern Ireland, Western Health and Social Care Trust, the Housing Executive, the Education Authority, the Probation Board and Youth Justice Agency. Each partner involved in the hub has defined who is of concern or vulnerable. This includes young people susceptible to paramilitary influence or attack or organised crime gang influence, older people subject to repeat incidents, repeat victims of antisocial behaviour, people with learning difficulties, social functioning, mental health problems, people with drug or alcohol misuse or dependence, people at risk or with a history of offending, and people at risk of exploitation. People in the hub safely share information about an individual to understand what they need and how support can be provided. If someone has more than one problem, the hub can help fix them all. It can help make sure they're getting the right services at the right time. Once they tell their story, they don't have to keep telling different people about their issue. The hub will make sure they can get the help they need in their local community. People in the hub will listen to what they have to say, and they'll be the person to have the final decision. We'll hear now from some of those involved in the project and how the hub works and how it has delivered.
So the Concern Hub really is a number of different partner organisations, statutory organisations that have come together to discuss cases where there are particular vulnerabilities in the cases. So each of the organisations would identify a particular case that they think meets the threshold for referral into the hub. They then get the consent from that person to discuss the case with the partner organisations. So what happens is the information is brought to the Concern Hub. So each agency brings their own information to the hub and it's discussed and there are actions identified to kind of have a wraparound support for that person coming out of the hub.
Police work with vulnerable individuals when we work with antisocial behaviour and we work with repeat victims of crime. It is a three-dimensional problem. Police previously might quite often find themselves working in isolation, maybe not necessarily alone. There would be other partner agencies working on the problem, but it's around the coordination of working for those individuals and working on those problems that we sometimes didn't maximise our potential. With the advent of the Concern Hub, we found that we've actually been able to share information in a far more timely manner. We're able to identify problems before they become critical. And likewise, we're actually able to coordinate our interventions. So collectively, we'll know an awful lot more of what's happening. We won't just see the symptoms, which is like sort of becoming a victim or antisocial behaviour or even just vulnerability. Usually there is a far bigger story behind that, and because of the Concern Hub, we can work together, get a full picture, understand what services are available to actually help that person, and then coordinate the interventions.
Well, as the Housing Executive, we would already have had a lot of links with some of the groups that are on the Concern Hub, but it has opened up new links. And at this stage, while we haven't referred any cases, we're now in the process of working up a couple of referrals because the obvious benefits and successes that we've already had are easy to see.
PCSP undertook the role to provide a secretariat and arrange the meetings, and because we had all the statutory partners on the PCSP board, it was much easier for us to get them on board with the Concern Hub and to sell the message of the Concern Hub to all the partners. I know from our perspective we were really glad that we took time developing the information sharing protocol so that all the partners coming to the table were comfortable about the information they were sharing about clients, and also that the partners at the table were able to build up relationships and trust with each other so that they could share and develop information about the referrals they were receiving.
Well, I work for the Youth Justice Agency, and I believe that the Concern Hub has made quite a significant impact on the lives of some of the young people that we work with. The main focus of young people that are referred to Concern Hub would be young people that may be under potential threat of paramilitary threat or community vigilante threat, and so it's very useful to speak to the partner agencies at the Concern Hub to put in plans into place to how we can help these young people. And I think it's borne fruit because some of the young people that we have discussed, thankfully, their lives, the risks in their lives appear to have reduced. They seem to be getting on better in their lives. They're linking better to community organisations. They're filling up their day doing more positive things. And I think a lot of that is down to the communication between the different agencies in the Concern Hub. And the fact that we managed to avoid duplication. Also, these young people, I think they tend to react better when they're working with one specific individual. So we're not precious in the Youth Justice Agency. If that young person is linking better with a particular person that they trust and have a good relationship with, we won't impede that.
So in terms of the trust, I think one of the biggest benefits for us has actually been getting engagement with those hard to reach clients, those at-risk clients. So for example, we've been able to use existing police relationships with people to make introductions with social workers who have then been able to develop relationships with clients that have been previously hard to reach, and we've been able to maybe to put services in place for that person that we otherwise wouldn't have been able to.
The challenges in setting up the Concern Hub, to be honest, initially were, is this another meeting with the same partner agencies to deal with the same issues that we address in meetings such as case conferences, case planning meetings, LAC reviews, MAST meetings at schools, adult safeguarding meetings. So the challenge was, how can we make the Concern Hub different, or what information can we share with partner agencies and from partner agencies that will help safeguard children, for example, in school. Those initial fears that it would be a duplication have been allayed in terms of the sharing of relevant information, which in turn can be shared with schools, with designated teachers, for example, in relation to sharing risks that the PSNA would be aware of, that schools would not be aware of.
I suppose the learning for us as a PCSP was actually developing the relationships with all the partners, making sure that they were comfortable about the information they were sharing, and also to manage the number of referrals we were receiving into the Concern Hub. There's one or two partners that we're actually considering that should have been at the table that we hadn't considered at the outset, specifically the likes of ambulance service and fire service. So that's something we're considering at the minute, and also after a year we'd like to do a review of the impact of the whole service.
I think Concern Hub's got great potential. I think we have already seen some success stories with the cases that have been brought around the table. I now know that there is plans to bring other agencies around the table who we feel would be of benefit. I think it will go from strength to strength. I think people are gaining more confidence around the table in what can be done. And I think once we start engaging with some more communities who in the long term can help some of these vulnerable people, I think it will be for the better of the community.
So we've heard how the project has delivered a difference and the key outcomes for those involved. The model has proved to be successful, and plans are being made to embed this approach across Northern Ireland in the year ahead, and PCSPs will have a key role to play in facilitating this.